The text tool allows you to add text to your images. You can simply select it from the toolbox and come over to the canvas here. There are a few options with the text tool, and I find that some of the options can be a little buggy or even contradict one another. So you can start by either clicking and just starting to type, or you can draw out a text box if you want to set the area in which the text will go. These options are shown down here in this box options area, where we've got either dynamic or fixed as the options. Dynamic would just be would just allow you to type, and it would just keep expanding the line as far as you wanted to, and would only return to a new line when you hit enter. Fixed, however, will keep the text within the box that you've drawn out. So now that we've got that, we can click within the box and we can start typing. We can just say, "Hello there, how are you?" Question mark. Now we can see that we've actually got quite a bit of indent here. So we can just highlight, and we can, this option here allows you to set the indent of the first line. So we'll just bring that back to 0. You'll also see that our text is spread out as it's set to the filled justification. So we'll go ahead and switch that back to left justified. There's also a right justified option and a centered option. And then we've got some other options, such as setting the line height, which will tell us how far apart our lines of text are. We can even put them in the negative so that they begin to overlap on one another. We'll spit that up about there. And we've got our letter spacing, which controls how tightly packed our letters are with one another. We've also got our color option here, so we can change our text color to a different color if we'd like. And our hinting basically allows the program to make slight modifications to the font in order to make it readable at smaller sizes. So this is a pretty large font, so we don't really need to turn that on right now. If we do, you'll probably not notice much of a difference. You can kind of see that the letters shifted there when I turned it on, but the net result is very hard to distinguish. We also have the font size up here. It's set to 72, which isn't a bad size, but we could turn it up a little more if we wanted to. Maybe not that much, but let's see. How about right there, 76. And then we've got the Use Editor option, which will pop open a new text editor window that we can type into. This text editor window has a number of repeated options from over in the Tools options as well. It also has this Load Text from File option, which is handy if you want to import some text from another document. So we'll just close that for now. You'll also notice that above the text box you're typing in, there are also a number of repeated options. We've got the font style here, the font size, the measurement of the font size, the color, we've got the kerning, which is the distance between the letters, and we've got the baseline, which is very similar but doesn't act quite like the line spacing option. This window also brings us our bold, italic, underline, and strike through styles, and this button that allows us to clear all our styles from the font. The final thing we'll talk about is just setting the font by name. Now, unlike most programs, you can't just click a drop-down and see a list of all the available fonts. You actually have to start typing the name of the font, and then the program will suggest completions for you. So if we wanted to change this from this sort of strange looking Kentucky Fried Chicken font, kind of interesting looking, but let's change it to something a little simpler, like say Helvetica. We can start typing in H-E-L, and there's Helvetica, and we can select it. So those are the basics of the text tool. There are a number of other options you can do with text in GIMP, but these are the basics of how the text tool works.